Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode of my Pokemon Battle Series, The School of Hard Knocks. So throughout this episode, like every other, we'll be jumping on to the Pokemon Global Link Battle Spot ladder, playing under the Championship Battle rules, which are the equivalent rule set of the VGC 2017 season. So we have a new team this week, so we're kicking off with a brand new team. We have reset our ratings, so we'll be starting afresh and kind of going into the ladder with a 0-0 record today, and hopefully we start climbing up the ladder pretty sharpish. I have tested the team slightly, so I'm feeling pretty comfortable with it, and I hope you guys enjoy the episode today. We're going to have a couple of great games, I hope, maybe 3, see how we get on. But the team that we're going to be going into this episode with and into the rest of the week is going to be Mandibuzz, so you can see on your screen right now, Mandibuzz, Kartana, Alolan Muk, Alolan Marowak, Alolan Ninetails, and Tapu Fini. So we have a double dark core in there with pretty much made up with a lot of Alolan Pokemon. So, Alolan forms anyway. So yeah, we've got kind of like I've put my own spin on the popular AFK core, included Marowak in there. I really think Marowak at the minute in the metagame has got it's kind of got a really good place at the minute, with how popular Tapu Koko is still, and Circuitry is kind of on the rise as well. So I just feel like that electric coverage is going to give us like a lot more. And we have a double electric team with our first opponent of the day. So this is a very famously known Wailord team. So they basically set up a trick route, Tailwind with the Pelipper, and then they start spamming Water Spouts with the Wailord. So we have to be a bit careful because the Pikachu's obviously there. It's going to provide a lot of Trick Room, Fake Out support, sorry. And then you've got the Mimikyu. I'm not massively familiar with the team, to be honest. I know the basic premise behind it, but we just have to be a bit careful and not let it get set up, and so we can kind of start doing some good damage back. So what are we going to do? I think to match the Tailwind, I'm probably going to have to lead with my Mandibuzz and my Tapu Fini. I'm going to bring my Ninetails because I want to be able to disrupt their weather. Marowak would be nice here, but there's the big threat of the rain from my opponent, and I think if I bring the Marowak, it's not going to get a lot of use. It's not going to be able to take those big water type attacks. So let's think, what could we go? Kartana or Marowak really here? I think I'm going to go, let's bring the Marowak, let's go for it. Let's bring it into the really difficult situation. It probably will come in very handy. They're not going to be able to have the rain out all the time, and you know, if we can just shut down the Wailord from being able to get those big water spouts off, it's going to put us in a lot better position. Remember as well that we have got the Tapu Fini. I am running a Calm Mindset on that, so if we can start getting the Calm Minds up, we're not going to be taking as much damage from things like the Pelipper and the Wailord. But my opponent here is leading off with that Kartana, probably expecting the Tapu Fini to lead here, and my opponent does get the rain up. So that Pelipper is going to be able to get a Tailwind up, and I think what I'm going to have to do is just match that myself with my Mandibuzz, just so I'm kind of keeping myself in the game really. So I will just this turn go for a Tailwind with my Mandibuzz, and what am I going to do with my Tapu Fini? Because I think this turn I can potentially bring in my, because I would imagine a Leaf Blade coming out onto that slot, so I can either protect and then switch next turn, which probably is the better idea actually. So I am just going to protect with my Tapu Fini here, and then switch my Marowak potentially into the next turn, because I can't imagine the Pelipper going for a Scald into that slot. It's probably going to concentrate more down on my Mandibuzz. So we do see the Leaf Blade come out onto the Tapu Fini from the Kartana, and the Pelipper just going straight for a Hydro Pump onto my Mandibuzz. So we will get a Tailwind up. And this is putting us in such a better position now, because now we're able to actually double into that Kartana, because a foul play and a muddy water, especially with the rain up, we should be able to kind of pick up the KO at least on the Kartana. So I am just going to go for a muddy water with my Tapu Fini and a foul play with my Mandibuzz. Fingers crossed that the muddy water doesn't miss the Kartana, but we just see a detect from the Kartana here, so it's just stalling that turn out. But we will get a muddy water off. It does miss the Pelipper, so this is just a bit of a dead turn for us, which is a bit unfortunate. And the Pelipper now goes for that Tailwind. Right, so now I could go for a Roost. I am going to go for a Roost with my Mandibuzz, and I'm going to switch in my Tapu Fini for my Marowak, just to take that incoming Leaf Blade onto that slot. So we switch in the Marowak on my Tapu Fini, and is this a Bloom Doom? This looks like a Bloom Doom coming out from the Kartana, so this will be into my Marowak. But Marowak should be able to take it quite easily, and as long as my opponent hasn't, I wouldn't have thought he would have doubled into that slot this turn, but you never know. He might have foresaw a switch, and just to make sure that he does pick up a KO onto this slot, going to double into it. So Marowak able to take that. It still does a lot of damage, and we see another Hydro Pump come out from the Pelipper. This will be into the Mandibuzz. We do take that, and we will get a Roost off, which is putting us in a bit of a better position going into this next turn. So restore a nice bit of health there, and I think this turn I am going to go for a foul play into the Kartana, and could switch in my Ninetails here, to be honest. Yeah, I am going to switch. I'm going to switch in my Ninetails for my Marowak here. So we do see the Kartana withdraw from the field. Tapu Koko coming in. So we do get the electric terrain up from my opponent's Tapu Koko. And we get the Ninetails in. So we will be able to break at least the sash on that Pelipper now, getting the hail up onto the field. And we'll reduce the attack power of those Hydro Pumps coming out from the Pelipper. But we do see Hurricane. It does hit. It does a decent enough damage to my Ninetails here. We get a foul play off into the Tapu Koko, but it's not going to be doing too much damage. And our Tailwind peters out. So I think I am just going to go for another Tailwind. I can't see my opponent really here going for an electric type attack, because of the threat of the Marowak coming onto the field. So I'm just going to protect my Ninetails this turn, try and get another Tailwind up. So yeah, we see my opponent withdraw the Pelipper, bring the Kartana back in, and we'll see what this Tapu Koko goes for. I think with the threat of the Marowak possibly coming in, yeah, so we get a Dazzling Gleam from the Tapu Koko, so we kind of baited my opponent into that there. So Mandibuzz will be able to take that. Big critical hit though, which is a bit unfortunate. And we get the Tailwind up, which is nice. Super nice. And we'll just get a bit of hail damage on everything on the field. And my opponent's Tailwind does peter out this turn, so we are in a way better position. I think what I'll do here is go for a... Is it going to be worth me setting up? Because I think that Kartana might protect here, just with the threat of the doubling into it with the foul play and the... Yeah, so I think I'm going to Roost with my Mandibuzz here, and I'm going to set up an Aurora Veil while I've got the chance to. Hopefully we don't see that Pelipper come in. So we do see the Kartana protect, just for the threat of the being doubled into. We get an Aurora Veil up, if I can say it, which is just going to shore up our defences a bit better. And we get the Roost off with the Mandibuzz. So we're kind of setting ourselves up a little bit better going into the last few turns of this game. Tapu Koko goes for another Dazzling Gleam here, but we will be able to take that, so that's nice. It does take a bit more Life Orb damage, and it's probably in Blizzard range now. But we do have to be careful for the Pelipper coming back out onto the field. But this turn, I am just going to go for a Foul Play into the Kartana, and yeah, I'm going to go for the Blizzard this turn, because we need to try and get rid of that Tapu Koko. And then if the Pelipper does come in here, which I imagine it might do on that Kartana slot, I just don't want to take the risk if the Kartana decides to stay in here and not take the chance to potentially get rid of it whilst I can. But we do see it withdraw, unfortunately, and the Pelipper come back in. So we need to keep our fingers crossed that this Blizzard can hit with our Ninetails. Pelipper does set the rain back up, and we get the Blizzard. Pelipper avoids. Oh, Tapu Koko avoids. Okay, so things are not going well for us this game. We've had that double water, muddy water miss already, which is super unfortunate. So we are going to lose Ninetails here. That Tapu Koko does take a bit more damage. I think what I'm going to do, should I bring in Marowak here? So we can potentially, yeah, I think I'll bring in Tapu Fini here. And I'm going to have to start Calm Minding. Maybe this is the turn where I bring in my... So I'm going to Roost with my... Actually, I'm going to Taunt the Pelipper, and I'm just going to go for a... I'm going to go for a Muddy Water with my Tapu Fini, because I don't want that Pelipper to get a Tailwind up. It's going to put us in a way worse position if they get the Tailwind up at this point. So if I can stop that, just start getting some damage onto it. We do see a Wide Guard from the Pelipper, which is super unfortunate. We do get the Muddy Water, but it will hit into the Wide Guard. So this Pelipper putting in a lot of work here. We are going to get a Taunt off, but we are going to see a huge Thunder come off from this Tapu Koko into Tapu Fini. Yeah, which is not ideal. And have we got one more turn of Tailwind? So our Tailwind does Pizza out now. I think what I'm going to have to do is go for another two. I need to get Tailwind up, really. Yeah, I'm going to go for a Tailwind with my Mandibuzz, and I'm going to switch in my Marowak for my Tapu Fini here. This is really risky because my opponent can quite easily just go for a kind of predict the Tapu Fini to come in and go for a Hydro Pump potentially into that slot to pick up the KO onto my Marowak. But it will be going after the Tapu Koko, so... But we do see my opponent switch out the Tapu Koko into the Kartana. Fini does come back. We get a Marowak in and a Hurricane onto the Marowak slot. But we are able just to take that, so that's pretty nice. But now we've really got to start kind of taking advantage of what we're doing. So that Kartana has to protect this turn, I imagine. So I think I'm just going to go for a Shadow Bone and a Roost with my Mandibuzz Shadow Bone into the Pelipper just to get some damage off onto it. So we get the Roost off. The Kartana isn't actually protecting this turn, but we are going to make sure that the Mandibuzz is sticking around on the field. Get the Shadow Bone onto the Pelipper, so we'll get some damage onto that. Oh, so close to a KO. Kartana goes for a Sacred Sword into the Mandibuzz. And we see another Hurricane come out from the Pelipper, and this will pick up the KO onto our Marowak. So our Aurora Veil wears off, and we get a Tapu Fini back in. So we are quite free here to just go Muddy Water and Foul Play into the Kartana slot, which I'm going to have to really do, to be honest. But it's not looking too good for us right now. We need to kind of make sure that we're kind of clearing the field here, and then that Tapu Koko comes in, so we've at least got some tailwind turns to take advantage of before it runs out. Because once it runs out, the Tapu Koko can come back in and just really start doing a lot of work. And we still haven't seen my opponent's fourth Pokemon, so we don't know what that is. Probably is the Whale Lord though, maybe. Or it could be the Pikachu. So we do get the Muddy Water off. It does hit, which is massive. So we will be able to get rid of the Pelipper, do a good chunk to the Kartana, and hopefully this Foul Play is enough to pick up the KO onto the Kartana here. Fingers crossed. It should be enough. Yeah, and it is enough. Cool. So, rain does stop. We get a little bit of health back, and I think we've got one or two. I think we've got one more turn of Tailwind here. So we will see the Tapu Koko come back in, and my opponent's, and the Whale Lord. Okay. So. So the Tapu Koko will get the electric terrain up onto the field. Right, now what am I going to do here? Because I imagine the Tapu Koko to protect here, to be honest. So you could go for a Muddy Water. It should be enough to pick up the KO onto the Tapu Koko, but if it misses, that's the thing. Hopefully, I think we should just go for it, because we need to start getting as much damage onto that Whale Lord as we can, really. Yeah, so I'm just going to go Muddy Water. If we get accuracy drops as well, then that's just an added bonus. Tapu Koko does protect, though, as expected. So we just need to be getting the Muddy Water and just as much damage onto the Whale Lord as possible, really. So we do hit the Muddy Water here. Hopefully we get an accuracy drop. Yeah, that's really good. That's amazing. So we get the Foul Play again with Mandibuzz. And do not too bad damage, to be honest. And we see a Hydro Pump come out onto our Mandibuzz. We do survive, just about. Okay. So. Right. Now my opponent is in a bit of a tricky situation here, where he can go for, well, I wonder if he'll opt to go for Dazzling Gleam to stop, just to get some damage off onto my, I think what I'm going to do is go for because I could just go Tailwind, Protect, but it is very obvious. And if he goes Dazzling Gleam, then, I'm going to get picked off by an Electric Attack next turn. So I feel like I kind of need to go double up into the Tapu Koko here. So I am just going to go Moon Blast and Foul Play into the Tapu Koko. Tapu Koko actually goes for a Discharge. Okay. And it does take everything on the field off. So, well played to my opponent there. Cleans the field and takes game one. So, not the best start to the episode, but a nice battle and very close down to the end. So, my opponent played it very well and just managed to nick it there. We had a few unfortunate turns where we missed the Muddy Waters and things like that, but that's by the by. Muddy Water's not the best accuracy-wise anyway, so we will just take that and move on, but good game for my opponent there. Never mind, nearly got there. So we'll not save that, and we'll just go straight into game 2. So hopefully, guys, as we kind of go through this week with the team, I'll kind of start explaining how I've put the team together and the ideas behind it and stuff like that, and what it's kind of set up to do. And hopefully we can kind of showcase that throughout some episodes. I definitely will make a point this week to do some laddering up off camera, so we're kind of a bit higher up, and finding some more higher rated opponents for you guys to see. So hopefully then the match quality will be a bit better for you guys. But we'll do that as we go on through the week. And we have our next opponent right now, and they're running a team of Tapu Koko, Garchomp, Talonflame, Gastrodon, Gigalith, and Celesteela. So, let's see what we're going to do here. Kartana is really nice here. It's hitting the Garchomp, the Gastrodon, the Gigalith for really good damage. I do like Marowak here as well. It's putting a lot of pressure onto the Celesteela. Kind of helps negate anything that the Tapu Koko is going to be doing other than Dazzling Gleaming. We just need to be careful for that Gigalith, the Garchomp, and the Gastrodon, really, other than that. But, even Muck's not bad here, to be honest. I think what I might do is, I'm not going to lead with my... We just need to be wary of the Talonflame leading, to be honest. But I'm going to lead my Mandibuzz and... yeah, Tapu Fini. I am going to bring Marowak, and do I need... let's think. And I think I bring Kartana as well as my 4th choice, and just lock in with those. And we'll see how we get on. Hopefully you can feature Muck as well. Muck's a little bit interesting, and it's got an extremely interesting EV spread as well. So hopefully we can kind of feature that and show that off as well. 3 episodes. The weird thing is that we haven't got Intimidate in the team, and I never feel very comfortable in my team building without Intimidate. But we do have the Ninetails and the Auroraville that I've kind of put in there to make up for not having the Intimidate. But in certain situations like that last match, and in this match where my opponent has a weather that they can bring in at any time to kind of negate the Auroraville being set up, it is a little bit harder to kind of get set up straight away. So you just have to be a bit careful for that sort of thing. So my opponent here, leading off with the Celesteela Talonflame, I'd imagine the Talonflame to go for a Tailwind here. So I think to stop this Celesteela really setting up with substitutes or Leech Seeds or anything, I'm just going to go straight for a Taunt. And the thing is, I can go for a Muddy Water here, but there's always a chance of that Gastrodon coming in. But I think just to get some damage onto the Talonflame, it's probably worth just going for the Muddy Water in case that Gastrodon does come in. If it does come in, like we're probably going to see on the Celesteela slot, yeah, it's not too bad. We will be getting damage off onto the Talonflame. Talonflame goes for a Taunt onto the Mandibuzz, which will stop my Taunt. But we should get some damage off onto the Talonflame here. Hopefully we do hit. Yeah. So that's the main thing. And I think this turn, what I'll do, I'll just go for a Foul Play onto the Talonflame, and I'm just going to go for a Calm Mind. Or should I go for a Moonblast? I'm just going to go for a Calm Mind on my Tapu Fini here. We might get taunted from the opposing Talonflame, but it actually goes for a Tailwind when it has the chance to, so that's fine. So we should get a Calm Mind up here with our Tapu Fini, just to protect us a bit more from anything coming out from that Gastrodon slot. But I imagine he'll probably target down the Mandibuzz here. We should pick up the KO onto Talonflame with a Foul Play. Yeah. And we've seen Ice Beam come out from the Gastrodon. It has got the boost, but we're still taking that quite comfortably, so that's nice. So see what my opponent is bringing in now. And it is that Celesteela. So we do need to be a bit careful with what we're doing now. See what we've got in the back. Yeah, I think what I'll do, I'm just going to go for a foul play onto the Celesteela, and I'm going to just get a Moonblast off onto the Gastrodon and start doing some damage onto that. The Celesteela here is free to get a Sub or a Leech Seed up if it wants to, which is fine. But as long as we're starting to do a bit of damage. Gastrodon goes for a Toxic into the Mandibuzz. Obviously, the Misty Terrain is up on the field, but Mandibuzz being a flying type isn't affected by the terrain, so it isn't protected by that. We do get a Moonblast off onto the Gastrodon. We'll proc what looks like a Citrus Berry, but we do some good damage onto it regardless, so that's nice. And then we'll follow up with a foul play onto the Celesteela and just get some chip damage onto it. Take a little bit of Leech Seed damage from that Celesteela. And then we can go on to this next turn. Hopefully our taunt wears off soon. Yeah, so the taunt has worn off now, which is super nice. So I will, while we can, get a Tailwind up, and then just going to go for another Moonblast into that Gastrodon. Just start wearing it down. Celesteela goes for a Heavy Slam. Well, I'd imagine into the Tapu Fini. Yeah. Does really respectable damage. Gastrodon goes for a Recover here. But we will get our Tailwind up now with our Mandibuzz, more importantly. And that is going to put us in a nice position to be able to kind of pick up the KO on that Gastrodon next turn with a Moonblast. We'll recover a little bit of health back with our Tapu Fini here. And then we're going to take a bit more Leech Seed damage as well. So we're probably in Heavy Slam range, to be honest, right now with our Tapu Fini. So we do need to be very careful of that. So what I might do is go for a Taunt onto the Celesteela, and I think it's too obvious that I'll go for the Moonblast onto the Gastrodon and my opponent just to switch it out. So what I might do is go for a... I really want to switch in my Kartana here, or my Marowak. I think I'm going to switch in my Marowak on my Tapu Fini slot to take the Heavy Slam. Then I can put a lot of pressure straight away into that Celesteela. It's not going to be getting any Leech Seed recovery either. And then I'll try and maneuver to get my Kartana on the field to put a lot of pressure onto that Gastrodon. But we don't see a switch out from the Gastrodon. We just see a Heavy Slam come out onto the Marowak. And hopefully that Gastrodon just targets down the Mandibuzz. But it goes for a Recover, so... We do take a bit more toxic damage with our Mandibuzz here, and my opponent's Tailwind does disappear. So what I'll do here is bring my Kartana in for my Mandibuzz, and I'm just going to protect with my Marowak. Then at least we're setting ourselves up to really start taking advantage of our board position a lot better, because that Gastrodon at the minute has been a bit of a pain. We do see the Celesteela withdraw. Garchomp comes in. And we're just going to get a Protect off with the Marowak here. Gastrodon goes for the Scald into the Marowak. But now we're in a nice position. So, what I imagine my opponent will do is go for a switch out with the Gastrodon into the Celesteela slot. And I'm just going to try and pick up as much damage onto this Garchomp by Leaf Blading into it this turn, and I'm going to switch in my Mandibuzz for my Marowak, because I need to kind of preserve that Marowak for later in the game to take care of that Celesteela. Yeah, so we see the Gastrodon switch out for the Celesteela here. Garchomp is either going to go for a Tectonic Rage, maybe a Fire Fang, Fire Blast, or just an Earthquake. We do get the Leaf Blade off. It is a critical hit, so we'll put that Garchomp into range next turn, and we just see an Earthquake come out from the Garchomp. So Kartana should be able to take this quite nicely. We do take a bit more poison damage, and our Tailwind pitters out, but we're not in the worst of positions. What I'm going to do, protect my Kartana and get another Tailwind off with my Mandibuzz, and hopefully this Garchomp possibly protects, and we see maybe a Flamethrower from the Celesteela. It's quite important if I can get the Tailwind off, because it means when I bring in my Marowak or my Tapu Fini in the latter stages of the game, that I'm going to be outspeeding the Garchomp, which at the minute is causing me a lot of problems, because it's going to be putting a lot of pressure onto my Marowak, not being able to pick up and do a job that I want it to be able to do. Garchomp just goes for a Protect, so this could work out way better in our favour. We do get the Tailwind off with our Mandibuzz, which is brilliant. We see a Heavy Slam into the Kartana slot. Okay. So I think what I'll do here is I will switch my Kartana to my Marowak, and I will go for a Foul Play onto the Garchomp with my Mandibuzz, and that should be enough to pick up the KO onto the Garchomp, which should be super nice. And then we've still got the Kartana to bring in and take care of the Gastrodon in the latter stages of this match. Garchomp goes for a Protect, but it does fail, so we will get that Foul Play off onto it. Mandibuzz will go down this turn to Rough Skin and Burn damage. Just the Rough Skin damage is enough to take the KO. But we're in a really nice position this next turn to bring in the Kartana and then pick up a double KO on both the Celesteela and the Gastrodon with my Kartana and my Marowak. So we should be able to close this game out now. And the Gastrodon and the Celesteela are all that are left on my opponent's side of the field. We haven't seen Protect on that Gastrodon, so I'm quite free to just go for a Flare Blitz and a Leaf Blade into the Gastrodon slot. Flare Blitz into the Celesteela slot and Leaf Blade into the Gastrodon slot. So we get the Leaf Blade off, should easily pick up the KO, and it does, so the Gastrodon goes down, and Marowak here should be able to close the game out with a Flare Blitz. Get the Flare Blitz off, and yeah, easily enough to pick up the KO onto the Celesteela, and we take that game. So, very good game to my opponent. I think we just manoeuvred around and got ourselves into the ball position that we wanted to, and then were able to get the Tailwind up, obviously, to put pressure on the Garchomp. And once that was gone, then we had that final ball position where we could easily pick up my opponent's remaining Pokemon with our Kartana and Marowak. So, we will call it a day there, guys. Had a really fun match, game one, with the Pikachu Willow team, and narrowly lost there, so just a bit unfortunate, but it was very well played. And I'm not as familiar with the team as I probably should be, which probably went against me a little bit there. But regardless of that, it was a very fun game, and we kind of got our first two games in with this team today. So we've got 1 win, 1 loss. We've just won that last one, and we will pick back up tomorrow and hopefully get a couple more wins. Hopefully I'll have time between today and tomorrow to get up the ladder a bit more with the team. If not, I will do it later in the week. But we'll have a lot of fun battles this week with the team, and obviously at the end of it we'll end with, like we always do, with the team review episode. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, like I always ask, please leave a like on the video. It is massively appreciated, and subscribe to the channel. We obviously have the School of Hard Knocks series, which is your daily upload from Monday to Friday. We have a QR code series, which I run Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And then we have the occasional team review episodes for when we kind of put a team to rest after we've used it for a little bit. I do a team review episode as well. So to stay up to date with when all those videos are coming out, subscribe to the channel and you get the notifications for when they do come out. But I'll not drag this on any longer, guys. It's been a pleasure as always, and until tomorrow, I will see you later. So take care of yourselves, and until then, bye-bye.